Aquarius, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for mid-July 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we can dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Aquarius collective. I hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for these beautiful Aquarius friends of ours in mid-July 2026? What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card, then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. Let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Aquarius in mid-July. What's the vibe? What's the energy? Let's get this card out for you nice and quick, my good friends. We're going to have some fun today, just like we always do. Okay. All right. The puppeteer to me is either very hot or very cold. I either love it or it's one that I'm extremely skeptical of. And I'm sure some of you could already guess when we see someone putting on a puppet show or pulling strings, right? But there's also a really good aspect to it. So I don't want to like throw the whole card out into the trash. But before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the July subscriber surprise towards the end. So you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about this card. So as you can see, we have this jester looking individual with a mask putting on a little puppet show, right? Looks like they're on a stage of some sort. Now, the good thing about this, it's lighthearted, right? It could be very entertaining. So when I see this could be a card of having fun, of amusement, whether it's doing hobbies, going out with friends, just doing things that we enjoy. It's just like a beautiful, lighthearted type of energy. So if that's the mode you're in, beautiful. Maybe this is spirit urging you, like, hey, Aquarius, like you've been dealing with this for a while, or you're dealing with this thing right now. Why don't you just go try to break up the energy and have some fun, do something you like? That's the good thing. The downside to this card, obviously, when we see anybody playing with puppets, when we see anyone pulling strings from behind the curtain, so to speak, that tells us that there might be more aspects to a situation than we previously thought. That maybe we need to dig a little deeper and see who's really controlling things, who's calling the shots, what's really happening there. So this card can have a lot of mystery to it, right? I don't want to make it seem like it's this big, the sky is falling type of moment. But this card can show up when Spirit's like, hey, you need to look at this thing closer, or you need to keep an eye on this, whatever it is. So we're just going to let that puppeteer do whatever he's doing. Hopefully it's the good, fun energy for you. But let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for my Aquarius friends. What do we got? And yeah, while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. It wasn't the most ideal energy, if I'm being honest with you. The reading was titled A Difficult Situation. Now, of course, when we do any reading, it's just an energetic weather report. So hopefully the clouds passed you by. But the energy did feel a little bit clunky, right? Where it's like I'm either dealing with something that's difficult. It did have like that rock in a hard place type of vibe to it. So hopefully, if that did pop up, the energy has passed. I'm hoping that for most of you, the clouds passed without you even noticing. We're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards for my beautiful Aquarius friends. What do we have in mid-July for Aquarius? Thank you. Cool. Queen of Cups. Big feelings, right? Like she's an energy that has some big, big feelings. This might be cut from a very similar cloth to what I was seeing in the Libra reading. Let's get a couple more. I don't want to speak too soon, right? That's only 1 card. Yeah, 5 of Swords. Yeah, what is... All right. We're going to have to see. These are 2 totally different approaches to something that we definitely want to look at further. Let's get one more out here for Aquarius. 2 totally different ways to approach something. And then we have the Tower. Okay. So there is this big intensity or energy that seems to build from the front to the back. I do feel like for some Aquariuses, these could be totally different paths or pathways. But let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes, and we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. But at first glance, you know me, I always love to look at the elements. I feel like that's very important because it frames the reading and it gives us a foundation. And it's all internal energy this week, right? We have a lot of water and a little bit of air. Now, when it comes to the water, that is matters of the heart, right? Now, for you as an Aquarius, although you are the water bearer, you're technically an air sign, so your power element's here. But this water energy is matters of the heart, like I mentioned. So things, people, situations that we're emotionally invested in. It could absolutely represent partnerships and love and emotions in general, our inner self. Normally, when I see a lot of water, it feels like soft around the edges. It's a more sentimental type of energy usually. It could be creativity. It could represent artistic creativity and expression, which is great, thinking outside of the box. A lot of water can also be very unpredictable, right? Like it's up, it's down, it's back, it's forth. It's just like the tides. And that's the one thing we need to watch out for. Because to me, it's like the energy ramps up, right? Like when we go across, it's like the energy ramps, ramps, ramps. Now, for some of you, that could be a great thing. I mean, in the center, we have air, again, your power element, your comfort zone. Air is a bit more logical, right? So, whereas like the water is going off intuition and feelings and matters of the heart, this one is doing what logically makes sense, right? So it's like we got the heart and mind dynamic going here. The swords, straightforward to the point, planned out, strategic. It's about acquiring or receiving information. That's why it deals with communication and talks, messages, stuff like that. Um, the downside to swords is sometimes it could overthink and sometimes it could be very cold and detached. So you see what I mean? There's different vibes here. Let's go through and start building this out piece by piece. Position number one, we start with an energy that does have some big feelings, and it's the Queen of Cups. Now, for some of you, you might be connected to a water sign, so Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. The Queen of Cups can also represent mother figures, motherhood in general. But if this isn't a person in your life, the Queen of Cups represents an internal aspect of her suit. And you just heard me speak about the cups. She is a double down of this emotional energy. So when it's soft around the edges, it is soft, it's loving, it's nurturing, it's caring, it's a shoulder to lean on. It's really, really beautiful. But this energy can feel things really deeply. And the downside of the Queen of Cups is that sometimes she will suppress. So in this time, there could be certain things that you might be pushing down, that you might be suppressing, that maybe you want to talk to someone about it, but you're saying, maybe I shouldn't. That's Queen of Cups vibes. So we want to keep an eye on her. There's a softness to the energy that I appreciate. But then it's like the energy is a bit different as we move towards the middle because we go in on the Five of Swords. Now, I'm going to give you the good side of it too. You know me, I'm not just going to harp on the difficult aspects. The Five of Swords, in its positive, is determined to see something through. Where it's like, I got this, I'll do this, can't stop, won't stop. It's an energy that pushes, pushes, and pushes through. That's something I really like about this. When it sets its mind to something, it follows through. Beautiful. But this energy can also be uh, very pushy, very aggressive, angry, mad, upset. Even like the anxious, nervous energy could be in play with all the water around it. So that's something we need to watch out for. This, when we look at the big ball of wax, the Five of Swords is a card about self-focus, and there's nothing wrong with self-focus. Sometimes you got to do what's best for you. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. But this energy can sometimes tilt that scale into the extreme. So it's something we need to watch out for. It's a very aggressive energy, but then it still continues to ramp. Okay, because when we get to the back end, we got the tower. Okay, now you know me. I always say not every tower is a bad tower, even though the imagery itself does look a little bit scary. This is Scorpio energy. It's very scorpionic, which to me represents transformative, change based type of vibes. But the tower, when we boil it all down, is shocking. Okay, in one way or another, it could represent cleaning the slate, a fresh start, starting from scratch. Like that's a big thing. Can it be endings? Absolutely. Could it deal with conversation or even actions? Sure. We need to clarify to see what it's about, but this energy is out of the blue, out of nowhere. But is it really? That's what I'm asking here because, like, we start here, then it goes here, and then it gets to the tower. You see what I'm saying? There's like this slow increase of the energy, or maybe it's not even slow, but it goes from the Queen of Cups to the tower, and that's something we really need to pay attention to. Sometimes the tower is necessary, though, right? Sometimes the foundation of something is cracked and you just need a fresh start. So I want to dive deeper on all this, Aquarius. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. What's going on that Queen of Cups? And if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Aquarius, you can drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. All right, Queen of Cups time. And one more thing about the Tower while I get this next card out. Just remember, it's just an intense energy too. We don't think the sky is falling here. Just remember, there's an intensity to it. I mean, that I could appreciate. But let's see what's up with the Queen of the Queen of Cups. Okay, as we see the Queen of Cups, we have the Seven of Swords in reverse underneath it. Okay. Intuition is extremely, extremely important. Now, I'm a big believer that there's a lot of times where we should trust our gut, but then there are also times where we need to do what logically makes sense, right? Like usually the best of both worlds, right? Where if our intuition is telling us that about something that also logically makes sense. But the Seven of Swords is a very hidden, secretive, quiet type of energy. So, like when I see this Queen of Cups, Seven of Swords in reverse, this could absolutely be someone that's laying low in hermit mode, whether that's yourself, whether it's somebody else. It's like very quiet, doing its own thing. It's like, okay, I'm over here. I don't want any eyes on me. I'm just minding my own business. That's how this energy is presenting to me. Now, from what I know of you beautiful Aquariuses out there, normally Aquarius energy is very social, right? From what I've experienced, Aquarius energy can strike up a conversation with anybody. But like when I see the Queen of Cups, Seven of Swords in reverse, it's like, I would say there could either be a situation that Spirit wants you to go with your gut on, right? If you feel like there's something that you're not quite seeing, if you feel like there's something that there's a missing piece of information, I would go with your gut on it. But then there is also this very secluded type of energy. So again, it could be somebody else if they're like just laying low. We need to keep going and see what's up here. Let's keep moving. I don't know what it is. I'm on the trail though, my friends. Let's see what's up with that Five of Swords. It's hermit mode type of energy here on the front. So for some of you, it could be advice. For some of you, maybe that's how someone's acting, right? But why is the Five of Swords here? It's an energy that values its privacy on the front. Okay. And maybe that's a good thing for the time being. Okay, so we have the Eight of Wands in reverse underneath the Five of Swords. Fire air combination here right in the center. So good thing we have all this water that seems to tamp it down. Now, the Eight of Wands is an energy that is either in reverse, I'm not talking to this person, or I'm ignoring them, right? Like when I see the Five of Swords with the Eight of Wands in reverse, it's like discussion is over, game over. We're not talking about it anymore. End of discussion. Like that's how this feels to me. Now, for some Aquariuses, maybe that's how you're treating a certain situation where it's like, you know what, I'm not even going to discuss it right now. I have nothing to say about it. It is what it is, right? That could easily be it right here. But the Five of Swords, Eight of Wands in reverse could also be someone that's like, I'm pissed at that person. I'm not talking to them. It's like one of those two. So is it angry, upset, mad? Potentially. Potentially it is. I would absolutely watch the communications and conversations in this time too. And that's why I said maybe this hermit mode thing is a good thing on the front. Because like the Five of Swords, Eight of Wands in reverse, there's an explosiveness to it, right? So like with the talking and stuff like that. So it's like maybe it would be better to give that energy a little bit of breathing room, give it a little space. Or if it's you that needs a little bit of breathing room, take it, right? Um, it's unique, but it is also giving me that like I'm not even like game over type of energy. So there could be someone, something, a situation where it's like I'm not even feeding into it anymore. I'm not playing games, right? So what's going on the tower? What's going on the tower? Then we'll do a quick recap before we get into the shadow. So why is the tower here for our good friends? Good. This energy needs a reset. That's just how it feels. It's like I have to hit the reset button. It's like a shocking reset, right? Not sure if many of you played video games, especially the old school consoles. I'm showing my age here. But you know, like sometimes if you lightly give it a little kick or a tap, like the game would restart. Like that's how this feels to me. Like it's a shocking restart or a return of some kind where it's like, you know, let's clear the board and start over. Let's clear the board and start this game again. It's like giving me a vibe like that. So we have the devil in reverse underneath this tower, which to me is like we're clearing the board. Like imagine playing a game of chess and you don't feel like finishing that game anymore. So we're going to start a new game. Like, that's how this feels. I don't know why I keep using uh, these game ideas. That's what's coming through. Maybe it's because of what I was getting here in the center. It's like, yeah, I'm not playing anymore. Let's restart. It's so odd how this energy goes. Now, the thing with the devil, if you're not connected to a Capricorn, if you don't have Capricorn placements yourself, normally in the upright, yes, it could represent a whole host of different problems, situations, things like that. I don't want to go down the whole list, but yeah, it could be very stubborn. That's the big overarching theme with this devil, is that it could sometimes feel stuck. It's something that I've either dealt with it for a long time or I will be dealing with it for a long time. So when I see him in reverse underneath the tower, it's like I'm hitting the restart button. Like I need a fresh start here, or I need to start from scratch, very similar to what we've been seeing. So the energy, I will say this, Aquarius, is super, super intense this week overall. But yeah, we have this like game over and then let's restart the game. I don't know why it's coming through in that kind of way, but I would be cautious in this time, right? Like if you're dealing with anyone and they're coming off a little too harsh, maybe this hermit mode's the best thing, because I do feel like the more you feed into the intensity, the more it will feed the intensity, if you get what I mean. But let's go through and do a quick recap. There is a bit of a warning here, right? Like overall, that I would classify as important or serious. But position number one, before we get into the shadow, we have the Queen of Cups with the Seven of Swords in reverse. Like, yeah, sometimes your gut telling you something might be off, something doesn't feel too right. That's partially what it feels like. But I was getting this big hermit mode esque type of vibe where it's like, you know what? I don't really want to be seen right now. I'm just going to do my thing. So it's like somebody laying low, whether it's you or somebody else. It's like very hush hush quiet. Then in the center, I have the Five of Swords with Eight of Wands, and this came through in a few different ways. One, it could be someone that's like pissed or on edge, and they're like, "I'm not talking to this person." Uh, End of discussion, game over type of energy, where it's like, I'm just not discussing this right now. So just watch out for any situations like that here. Maybe someone's pissed and they're not talking for whatever reason. I don't judge. It is what it is. But that's how that feels to me in the center. Then we get to the back end. We have like this, like we go from the game over energy to like let's start fresh, right? Like we have the tower with the devil in reverse, where it's like I'm trying to clear the board, I'm trying to clear out all this gunk, where it's like, all right, I need a restart, I need a refresh. So it's like we're starting the game over again. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. We have a whole intensifying of energy. Let's see what's in the shadows. And yes, I always like to pull a shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge, they could be a good thing too. So let's get you one. And if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. All right, let's get this shadow card out here. What do we got for our good friends? Okay, cool. So this Page of Wands can be very good. That's the one thing I will say about it. The Page of Wands, fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, pages that represent communication or lack thereof, kind of like what we were seeing here. Um, but they want to put energy towards something, specifically this Page of Wands. So the downside of this page is that sometimes it could burn itself out, right? The big shadow side of it, if it isn't that like explosive energy around communication that we were talking about, this page can outpour so much energy that it taps itself out. So really watch out for that in this time. Readjusting your focus. What deserves your attention? What deserves your energy? What does not? Could be highly, highly important when this is here. I'm not saying that you need to just get into hermit mode and isolate the world away and not put any energy towards anything, but I would say be selective about who and what you're pouring energy into in this time, even if it comes to like ventures and stuff like that with this page, because we only have so much to go around each day. So we're going to put him down right there, my good friends. That's what I have for you this week. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details. The July subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation, or you'd like to have a chat with me, you can book a personal session with me on my website, mastermetaphysics.com. The July calendar is up and spots go quick, so you might want to check that out. But for the July subscriber surprise, doing another winner's choice, I will choose 3 lucky winners to either choose a copy of the Gilded Tarot Royale, which is one of my favorite decks of all time. It's a must-have, or a handmade pendant from my website, mastermetaphysics.com. So if you'd like to get your name in for that, it's two simple things, as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, out of all the cards that showed up in today's reading, which one spoke to you the most, or jumped out to you the most, or resonated with you. You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my posts tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.